me get my notes ready. Whew. Oh, good. We recorded all of that. Did you see him? He looked right in my eye.
I just saw nothing except
Is he mushed
your
on my
reaction.
face?
No. I see. No. No.
9 minutes. Oh, boy. How do we start this?
Midlife crisis.
I guess so. Let's just see what happens. And we're back. And, Haley, we talked about your learning experience, your continued
additional
learning. No, it's called continued learning.
Yes.
I don't want you to embarrass yourself in front of people. Don't call it additional learning.
Yeah.
You'd have to be some kind of dope to do that. It's continued learning. Good grief. And we talked about your experience last segment. And now I want to talk. Mine isn't really... is it continued learning? I don't even know what it is. It's a midlife crisis is what I'm dealing with.
Yeah,
And
that's not far off.
No, I'm turning 50 this year, and that one really has bothered me a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, it really has. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who can relate to that. You know, up until this point, it hadn't bothered me. You know, that age thing, I kind of shrugged that off. I don't care.
Yeah.
I feel young, and I still feel young, but that number...
50.
I guess I remember when Mom and Dad turned 50, and I remember thinking, do they have, like, grave sites picked out? Because I really don't want to have to do that. You know, when you're younger, it just seems like that bridge too
that's
far.
Old.
Yeah. And honestly, I've been thinking about things, and I guess with that big number in front of me, I've been thinking about things that I wished I had done. You know, because I started looking at life that way. That, okay, all these things that I missed out on. Mm-hmm. And it hit me a few weeks ago, and I've got a long way to go. It's not like this has been, you know, the epiphany came and now everything's different. Right. No, I'm still at the bottom. No, but it hit me that I need to stop looking back and saying, boy, I wish I had. Because I still got a lot of time. In fact, what made this whole thing dawn in my head is I'm mowing the lawn listening to a book on Audible. And it was about the Civil War, and they were talking about Abe Lincoln and how he became president at 50. And I've looked for the quote, and I can't find it because I don't have a literal book, and I've got to listen to somebody, and that's really hard to do. But anyway, the quote was something along the lines of about how most of the great men, you know, people that we know, great people, let's just say, you know, they really hit their stride at 50 and beyond. You know, that's...
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes a lot of sense when you think about it.
That's what I'm telling myself. I'm matured now. I've experienced a lot of stuff, and now I'm ready to go. And it made me think, I got to stop looking at this like, okay, it's over, and I missed out.
Right.
What's ahead of me? What can I do?
It's just the beginning, Dan.
Yeah. So I started wondering, why am I not doing stuff? What stopped me? And let's analyze this. I'm very analytical. That's how I roll.
Yeah.
And in all of that, and in preparing for our big design event that we've talked about in the past, it really hit me that fear is what's doing this and what stopped me. Anxiety, fear.
Well, yeah, because anything new is scary. I mean, it doesn't even have to be something big. It could just be going to a new restaurant. Okay, what is the waiting going to be like? You know, what are the booths? What's the menu? There's always a level of like questioning or anxiety that goes into anything when we've never been there or done that before.
Right, completely stops us. And it stopped me in so many regards. I mean, projects around the house, I do plenty of painting. If I've got to paint something, I can jump in and do that.
Sure.
But it's because I'm comfortable with that. But if we talk about, okay, pulling down my cabinets and installing new cabinets, okay, that's starting to get bigger. Or, you know, rebuilding the deck. I feel like I could probably jump into that, but it is something I get nervous about. The shed. I mean, there's all kinds of things, big projects that I really wish I could jump into, but it's fear, anxiety, all these different worries that I play out that stop me. And I started asking myself, is this really how I want to live? Is this really what I want to do? Or do I want to try some of these things? And so I picked a list of a handful of things, and some of them are really, really crazy. I mean, they're pathetic, honestly, because...
Okay, what is the list?
Yeah, well, there's a long list. I'm going to only talk about 3 of them. But one of them is shooting, you know, doing things with guns. Yeah. Dad had shotguns and stuff when I was little. I never really messed with it. I wasn't big into hunting. But I do like the idea of target shooting and developing that skill. But it seems... I don't want to go to a range and look like an idiot.
Right.
You know, I don't have experience with this stuff. How do I do that? Riding a motorcycle. That's something Dad has done. I have never, ever. I tried it once for about 5 minutes and couldn't get the shifting thing, bailed on it. Riding a horse. Another thing that I've done at camps, like once in a while.
Sure.
It's a fun thing.
No, I think it's really fun.
But scares me to death. There's so much involved. Where do I even begin? And I realized that with all of those things, I'm cutting ahead. I'm not going to say that right now. What I've learned in jumping to all of these things, I've learned a lot of things, but 3 main things, and I think they apply to anybody out there who's in my boat. If you know what I'm talking about, and I don't mean that you're interested in shooting or riding a motorcycle or riding a horse.
And it could be a quarter life crisis.
It could be a quarter life. It could be wherever you are in life. If you're thinking, boy, I wish I could have done, you fill in the blank, and there's something that stopped you, I've got 3 things that might help you get over that hump and get moving again. And the first one is that what I found in all of this is that fear is front-loaded. And what I mean is, it's when I'm doing the thing, this new thing, I'm not finding as much fear. Let's talk about the horseback riding. I jumped into that. I remembered that my uncle does horses and gave him a call and arranged something. We got everything worked out. And the night before, I'm literally terrified.
Yeah.
I could not sleep. I'm not terrified. I don't even know what I'm terrified about. I think I don't want to look stupid.
It's just like all the what ifs. Like you don't know what to expect.
Right.
Right?
Exactly that. I don't know what to expect. I love having everything mapped out in front of me, knowing how it's going to go. I didn't know anything. And I was thinking, especially the night trying to go to sleep was bad. But even as the days got closer, I was looking for any excuse to cancel this thing.
Oh my gosh.
I just wanted to bail.
I think we've all been there.
I'm sure we have. And the thing that I found is, okay, I didn't bail. I gutted through that really horrible night trying to sleep. And, I know that's pathetic. It really is in the grand scheme of things. But for me, it was a big deal. The drive down there wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I thought I was going to be really amped up about that.
Right.
I think I just got over that hump. I made it through that night. That was fear's last big push on me.
Yeah.
And then I got there, and I start with the horse, and my uncle literally had me do everything. I thought the horse would be saddled and ready to go, and he showed me how to ride. No, I had to pick up the hooves and scrape them out. I had to get the saddle on, brush them off, get the saddle on, everything. And he even commented, "You don't seem terrified. You don't seem..." He knows me. He expected me to be a mess. And I said, "I'm not. I'm focused. I'm cautious about the horse because I know it can damage me. I know it's a big animal, but I'm not terrified. I'm just having a lot of fun." I got over that fear. That fear was really front-loaded, and once I got past that, I was okay.
Yeah, I think that's what it takes, is just like knowing that this is a temporary feeling, and that as long as you can kind of gut through that little bit, it's going to go away, and you're going to have a lot of fun.
Right. So, yeah, like Haley's saying, if you're thinking about something new that you haven't done and you want to jump into it, buckle up. If you're like regular people, it's going to get really bad before it gets better. But don't wait till it's better, before you jump in. You've got to actually jump in first, and then it will get better as you go.
Working through that little bit of uncomfortableness and that fear, and then being on the other side of it and realizing, okay, that was all front-loaded. Dan was right.
Yeah.
And now being on that other side and enjoying all of these things, it makes you want to keep trying new things.
Right.
I think I experienced the exact same feeling or anxiety, even just going into that art class that I have experienced in. Like, I still didn't know exactly what the class was going to be like or what the campus was going to be like. So I was afraid. And I realized once I was there that it was fine. And now I want to do it again.
Right, exactly. So remember that. The second thing, I'm going to have to hit the last 2 really fast. The second one is there are mentors all around you.
Yeah.
I completely didn't remember that I knew Dad rode a motorcycle, but I didn't think he would ever teach me because I didn't think Mom would let him. Mom is terrified of the thing.
Fair.
I asked, I just went out on a limb. Lo and behold, he was happy to teach me, and they gave me the motorcycle.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
All of a sudden, that happened. With the shooting thing, it turned out Peter Ogle, who we've had on the show multiple times, is an expert. He brought me to a range, showed me what to do. I'm good to go. My Uncle Jim and my Aunt Chris do horses. I completely forgot that. And I reached out. There were mentors everywhere. When it comes to projects, Repcolite is full of people who will help you get where you want to go.
Absolutely.
So remember that. The last one, very quickly, start now. Don't wait. Don't wait till you're in a midlife crisis. Start now. If you're in a midlife crisis, don't think that you missed your chance. You can still start now. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to be in the studio with Kevin Herman, our Benjamin Moore rep, talking not about paint, but about lawnmowers. That's all just ahead. Stay tuned.